Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. We're at the inaugural TSX Venture 50 Capital Conference in the Okanagan. Joining me is Chris Ritchie. He's the president of SilverCrest Metals, Inc. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, there are over 1,700 companies on the TSX Venture. What does it mean to be part of the Venture 50?
It's a tremendous piece of recognition for us. We've done an incredible amount of work over the last few years, and it's nice to have that acknowledged. We're in a sector that tends to be not so great with capital efficiency.
Okay.
And we've added over $8 of value for every dollar spent. So it's one of those things we like to pat our team on the back for.
Very nice. And well, let's move into investors now. What do they have to look for in the rest of 2019 and going further after that?
Industry-wide, there's been 9 years of outflows in the mining space. We're one of the most beat-up sectors out there. And relative to the S&P, the mining space hasn't been this divergent in value in 50 years. Mm-hmm. So people are starting to get a little bit of hope. But if they don't get any hope, one thing for us is we've been able to drive value regardless of the commodity price. So again, we're the highest grade primary silver deposit in the world for a publicly traded company. Mm-hmm. And in our recent economic study, we have an all-in sustaining cost per ounce at less than $5 an ounce for our first 4 years of operation. So silver's at 15 and less than 5. We don't need that commodity price to go higher. Mm-hmm. So again, we got that nice margin, so we're okay. But at the same time, we have 15 drill rigs running, so we should be having news releases out on drilling probably every 3 to 4 weeks. And that's been a very significant driver of value for us to date.
Chris, can you talk a bit about the company's impact on the community and where it is?
We're in Sonora, Mexico. It's right on the border with Arizona. It is the only state in Mexico to have an export agreement with the U.S. for beef. Okay. So the largest political organization is the Cattle Association. So our CEO is a rancher. Perfect. And not only if people know the story of SilverCrest Metals, it's actually a spinco from SilverCrest Mines.
Okay.
And we've been in this community for 15 years. And what we see right now is there was a spill in 2014, and one of the companies that made the spill, it wasn't us. We spent our own time and money to buy fresh drinking water for the people, for their horses, for their cattle, scholarship programs for kids in the area. Mining is the #1 highest paying job in Mexico, mm-hmm. and there's a tax base of less than 20% of the population. So there's actually a tax that goes from the federal government down to the state and down to the municipal governments. So huge employment, huge social commitments in terms of, again, scholarships. We had helping abused women in the neighborhood, a retirement community. We send our employees out to the community to help clean up when there's challenges. So for us, to add a huge impact in terms of employment, dollars, and just, we have a ranch now.
Yeah.
So we have 85 cattle, so you'll have to come down for a barbecue.
That'd be nice to do. And that, I guess, really is, my last question is really about what, in your opinion, makes your company stand out within its sector. Obviously, you've discussed a little on the personal side. Can you tell us a bit more about the company and in that sector?
Sure. Mining is capital intensive, and in a sector where there's been outflows of capital, accessing that capital and having that show good economic results has been very, very challenging. Our recent economic study that came out suggested that we'll have $100 million US of capital required, and based on our economics, we have a payback of 9 months on that capital. So again, that's very unique. If you take gold all the way down to $1,100, mm-hmm. our payback goes to 11 months. So our IRR at spot is 78%, and our free cash flow is anticipated to be over $100 million a year for the first 4 years. So after the financial crisis, we've had 10 years of a hangover, yeah. And we have probably somewhere between 40 and 60% of the industry that's losing money at spot, and we can pay back our whole capital within 1 year. So that's probably the biggest differentiator of our asset today.
Good note to go out on. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.